Hey everyone, I'm so incredibly glad you're here for this explainer. I really want you to think of me as your older sibling today, because we're going to tackle something that seriously stresses out almost every single 9th and 10th grader. How to actually hit that dream score, that 95 to 98% range. Okay, let's dive right into this. Today's explainer is a direct, absolutely no-nonsense breakdown of how top scorers actually manage their time. We're going to build a routine that actually works for you, using insights straight from the daily habits of top-performing students.
But before we get to the actual solution, let's just be honest for a second. Have you ever felt that sudden massive burst of motivation, sat down at your desk, created the absolute perfect minute-by-minute timetable, and then completely abandoned the whole thing just a couple of days later? Look, if you're nodding your head right now, you are definitely not alone. It's a fact that almost 90% of students have experienced this exact same cycle. You feel incredibly motivated, you write it all down, and then poof, the motivation just totally vanishes. And this classic setup brilliantly illustrates exactly what we usually build. 6 a.m. wake up, 8 a.m. school, back home for a quick rest, tuitions at 4 p.m., self-study right at 7 p.m., and on it goes. I mean, it looks so neat and perfectly organized on paper, doesn't it? But here's the harsh reality. It falls apart incredibly fast.
Now here's a truth you really need to hear. You didn't fail to follow your timetable because you're lazy. Seriously, you didn't. You failed because traditional hourly timetables are a complete trap. They're a genuinely terrible method for studying. Trying to map out every single rigid hour of your day actually destroys your motivation because, well, life simply doesn't happen in perfect 1-hour blocks.
So we are officially throwing that broken method in the trash today, and we're building a flexible, highly effective 5-step method instead. Step 1, finding your peak time. Step 2, setting daily targets. Step 3, the 1-hour rule. Step 4, the topper mindset. And Step 5, the homework hack.
Step 1, find your peak time. The very first thing you need to figure out is when your brain is actually wired to work best. You really need to find your ideal focus window. Do you thrive in the early morning, or are you completely a creature of the night? If you don't actually know, you've got to test it out. Try studying late one night, and then try waking up super early another morning. You need to find out when your focus power is naturally hitting its highest level.
Once you know your preference, you structure your sleep around it. If you're a morning person, your ideal routine is getting to sleep by 9 or 10 p.m. and waking up at 5 a.m. This gives you a full hour of fresh, totally uninterrupted self-study from 5 to 6 a.m. before you even head to school. You can then knock out your second hour in the evening. On the flip side, if you're a night owl, your routine totally shifts. You go to sleep around midnight. Your absolute golden window is from 10 p.m. to midnight. Why? Because the house is perfectly quiet, there are absolutely zero distractions, and you get 2 straight hours of deep, locked-in focus.
And that actually brings us to a massive, relieving realization, too. You literally only need 2 hours of dedicated, daily self-study. When students ask, how many hours do I realistically need to study to get 95%? The answer is definitely not 6 or 8. If you are in 9th or 10th grade, 2 hours of pure, distraction-free self-study every single day is more than enough to achieve your biggest academic goals.
Step 2, daily goal setting. Now that we have our precious time carved out, let's look at exactly what to do with it. This is a massive shift, guys. We are scheduling targets now, not time. Here's exactly how you do this step by step. Every single night, just 5 minutes before you go to bed, grab a piece of paper. Write down tomorrow's specific targets. And I mean specific. Not just study math, but Math Chapter 1 and Science Chapter 2. Then, the very next day, as you complete them, physically cross them out with your pen. Trust me, it is unbelievably satisfying. And to really nail this down, I highly recommend creating a weekly checklist to track these specific study habits. Checking off your nightly planning and your daily target completion on a weekly checklist builds incredible daily motivation and keeps your energy up all week long.
But hey, I want to be brutally honest with you for a second. It won't be completely perfect immediately. You might only hit 80 or 90% of your targets at first, and that's okay. By day 4, you are absolutely going to feel lazy, and you'll really want to procrastinate. But to beat that procrastination, you need to remember this magic number: 21. If you push through that initial resistance and track your targets for 21 days consistently, I guarantee you will start seeing visible, undeniable results in your studies. Consistency is quite literally everything. Step 3, the 1-hour productivity rule. This leads us perfectly into the next phase, which is basically your secret weapon for conquering those daily targets we just talked about.
Check out this mathematical equation because it honestly changes everything. 1 hour of 110% focus equals 3 hours of normal study. Seriously, this isn't just some fluffy motivational quote, it's completely backed by science. When you sit down and give your absolute, undivided attention to a single task for just 1 hour, you accomplish exactly what a distracted student takes 3 whole hours to do.
But listen, to unlock that intense kind of focus, you have to follow strict power hour rules. Rule 1. Your mobile phone must be put away in a completely different room. No exceptions. Rule 2. Zero Instagram, zero YouTube shorts, none of it. And Rule 3, which is crucial, this power hour is reserved exclusively for your weak topics. If math or science is dragging your overall grade down, this 110% focused hour is exactly when you tackle them. No easy stuff during this hour.
Step 4. The topper mindset. Now we're shifting gears from practical tactics to psychology, specifically how you handle failure. Because what is the actual mental difference between an average student and a top performer? It all boils down to their mindset when things go off track.
Imagine a day where literally everything goes wrong and you haven't studied a single page. The average student looks at the clock at 10:30 p.m. and says, well, the whole day is totally wasted. I'll just start fresh tomorrow. And then they just go to sleep. But the topper student, they look at the exact same clock and say, okay, the day was wasted, yes, but I still have 30 minutes left before bed. Let's study right now. The top scorer values every single remaining 15 or 30-minute block. They utilize whatever time is left. That relentless, scraping it together consistency is the real key to a 98% score.
Step 5. The homework hack. I know, I can already hear some of you screaming through the screen, but what about my school homework? What about making all my notes? I have literally no time. I hear you. That's exactly why we have the homework hack. It's all about how to desperately save your precious self-study time.
We really need a strategy to stop homework from eating up your evenings. So you have 2 optimal locations to get it done. Option 1, school-free periods. Whenever you have a free period or a break, do not waste it chatting the whole time. Knock out your mindless copying and note-making right there at your desk. It saves your valuable home time for actual deep learning. Option 2, if you absolutely can't do it at school, do your homework exactly 1 hour before you go to sleep. Why does this work so well? Because note copying is generally a really boring, mindless task. When you are super tired right before bed, doing a boring task actually helps your brain calm down and fall asleep much faster. Whatever you do, never waste your peak, high-energy hours on simple, mindless homework.
All right, we've covered a ton of ground today, so let's summarize with a few rapid-fire Big Brother tips. First up, absolutely avoid the "I'll start tomorrow" trap. It's a vicious cycle that literally never ends. Second, keep those daily goals realistic. Please don't plan to finish the entire math and science syllabus in one single day. You will just end up totally disappointed and off track. And third, always value deep focus over the sheer number of hours you spend just sitting at a desk. 4 distracted hours mean absolutely nothing compared to 1 hour of true, deep work.
And that brings us to our final thought. This isn't a movie. Grab a pen, apply these steps, and start today. Seriously, just consuming this explainer passively won't change your grades one bit. Taking action will. So my ultimate challenge to you tonight is simple. Take out a piece of paper, figure out your peak time, write down tomorrow's daily targets, and start building that weekly checklist. Stop planning for tomorrow and start executing today. The entire blueprint is right here in front of you, so what would actually happen to your grades if you simply started tonight? Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and I'll see you next time.